We are here today with Jason Irwin and his wife Bronwyn at North Star Livestock in Southampton. Thank you so much for taking the time today to sit down with us.
Thank you for coming.
Glad to have you.
Now, not only is this a family business, but Jason, you have an excellent reputation for training and breeding horses, which you've been doing for 20 years now. Tell us what motivated you to get into this line of work.
Well, my family's been involved in horses pretty much forever, but I've been training for about 20 years now. I started my first colt when I was about 12 years old, and I've just been at it ever since. In the early stages, I began starting young horses, and then after that, I moved on to finishing training to older horses, putting high-end maneuvers on them, working with problem horses, working with Liberty horses, just a little bit of everything. I'm involved in quite a few areas in the horse business, and I like all of them, really.
Great. Now, you've also competed in colt starting competitions with horses that have never been ridden within a 2 to 3 day period in front of an audience. It's really very impressive. Can you describe what process for us and what that entails?
Well, you'll go to one of those competitions, you're given a young horse. Usually that horse is halter broke, but it's never had a saddle on, never had a bridle on, and pretty much untouched. From there, we're expected to take that horse and working with it 1 to 2 hours per day for 2 or 3 days. We have to get the horse where you can walk, trot, lope. It has to carry a rider comfortably. You have to go through an obstacle course with that young horse, and there's a few other things I'm sure I'm forgetting, but there's quite a few things. But they're not scored just strictly on speed. You have to have your horse calm and accepting, so it's not really a race. You have to move along at a good clip, but you don't want to push it either. It'll come back to bite you pretty fast.
Right. So that must take a lot of dedication and patience, but also stamina. How much do you think health and fitness factor into your ability to break and train these horses?
Well, it definitely factors in. You have to be healthy just physically. It's very demanding riding a lot of horses. I ride maybe 8 to 10 a day most days. On top of that, just the fitter you are, the more balanced you are, and you have better reaction times. So if you're riding a young horse for the first time, if you're sluggish and leaning one way or another, it's not going to be a good thing. So it's definitely a big part of it, no doubt about it.
Great. Now, Bronwyn, can you please tell us about your riding experience?
I started as an English rider in Perth, Ontario, outside of Ottawa. My parents and my grandparents took me to lessons at Millerbrook Farm, and I had a really good experience at the beginning of my riding career. I took lots of lessons from lots of hunter coaches, jumper coaches, and dressage coaches. I also was a member of the Canadian Pony Club, so I had a really good start to riding. When I bought my first horse with my first paycheck from the Ottawa Hospital, I was a radiation therapist there. It was a thoroughbred mare, and I did take her and jump her quite a bit at the beginning. And then I got interested in the Western speed events. So I took up pole bending and barrel racing, and then I started competing in the rodeo tour. And now I work on the rodeo, or I compete on the rodeo tour, but I also do a bit of Liberty with my horses that I have now.
Yes, we've seen that, and you do amazing.
And horsemanship is really important to me, so those are the things that I work on here at home when I'm not training for the rodeo.
So, speaking of rodeo, as a barrel racer and a pole bender, how important is it that you are physically fit before a competition in order to perform your best?
It's very important because all of the events that I do are speed events. It comes down to really good timing, and you have to be in balance with your horse, and you have to be in time with your horse. And so being your best would involve being healthy and being fit. I do some running when I'm doing the rodeo, and I also do some yoga to keep my muscles tuned up. So.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Jason, we also understand that you do a lot of clinics. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, we do quite a few of them. Some of them I do by myself, and then Bronwyn and I do others combined. We have one that we call our standard horsemanship and riding clinic, and we do quite a few Liberty clinics as well. We've added trailer loading clinics, we've added obstacle clinics, and we have a few more that are in the works as well. And people come to those for a variety of reasons. Some people they're having fun with their horse, but they just want to take it up to the next step, and they don't know where to go from where they're at. Other people have a real problem with a horse, and they're maybe a little bit scared of it, and not I won't say it's common, but there are some times where the relationship between the horse and the rider is getting borderline dangerous, and they do need help in a big way then. But there's quite a different cross-section of people, and we try to make it fun too. We're not there to give anybody a hard time. We're trying to help them out, and everybody has some fun, and I think they're a good thing.
Absolutely. So fitness is not only about keeping physically fit, but also nourishing our bodies with healthy foods. Do you, Bronwyn, find that what you eat makes a difference in terms of performing in the ring?
Yeah, I try to eat a little bit lighter right before I go in to do any pole bending or barrel racing. And the only reason is because I don't want to feel heavy and be out of sync with my horse. And when you're feeling light, you feel like you can really move along with them. Now, I wouldn't go out and drink a coffee before I ride either. And the reason is I would just get too jittery, and my timing has to be just right. And I'm pretty light with my hands, so I wouldn't want to be too distracting to my horse. So yes, I believe that is true. You do need to eat to perform.
Great. Now, do you ever find that you have anxiety or experience nerves before a competition?
I know that I can experience anxiety and nerves before a competition, but one thing that I incorporate into my training is a lot of visualization. So when I'm here practicing on the farm, like I'll stop in the middle of the field and close my eyes and just pretend that I'm actually doing my run. And I really think that helps. And I sit there and I'll think, I went to the Royal Winter Fair this year to compete in the rodeo there. So one thing was I knew there was probably going to be a lot of people there, which it was a sold out crowd. So I had to sit and visualize what exactly it looked like in that arena. That way when I went in, I wasn't distracted by the sights and the sounds, and I could just run to my spot where I was supposed to run my horse to and then just get right to work. But I think that if you have a lot of practice with visualization and just that calming your nerves that way, that'll really help. And with the visualization, you can also go ahead and think about how you would feel if the crowd was really going wild or something was happening. And then you can practice calming your nerves right there and keeping a very steady mindset when you're in the ring.
Right. Now, Jason, is there any advice that you can give young aspiring equestrians when dealing with their own anxieties?
Well, something to keep in mind, I don't know if this helps or not, but the more nervous you are, the more nervous your horse is. And so just anything you can do to cause yourself to calm down is really a good thing. Again, I guess going back to the coffee thing, you sure wouldn't want to have coffee or give yourself too big of an energy boost right beforehand. Something else, the more you ride, the calmer you're going to get. A beginner rider is thinking too much about what might go wrong, and they're overthinking almost everything they do. If that same person went from riding for half an hour to riding for 2 hours, at the end of 2 hours, they're going to be a lot calmer. If they did that an extra day a week, at the end of the week, they're going to be a lot calmer. Just the more time they spend in the saddle, the calmer they're going to get, the better they're going to get.
Right. So it is certainly apparent that both you and your wife are committed to being fit and riding strong, and I know you've had a chance to review our Be Fit Ride Strong program. What are your thoughts on the program, and how do you think it'll benefit equestrians?
Basically anything you can do that's going to help, I think it's great. I know your program is really trying to encourage fitness, and I think that's really, really important.
Right. Well, thank you so much for your time here today, Jason Bronwyn. We know you are extremely busy and truly appreciate you taking the time out to connect to our Be Fit Ride Strong community here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, we appreciate you here.
Thank you.